So for these, I'm back here. I'm recording a quick thing for the next class. Just if you have a question, just ask because I can remember this. All right. So just to quickly run through the controls of Adobe Premiere, you have downloaded 2 files. So we can import these by just double-clicking and finding the files that we downloaded here. And I haven't downloaded them yet, so we go over here to D2L. I'll download them. Actually, I'll just go to Drive. I'll download them straight from Drive. So we're having a hard time getting our zip disks to work. So we want to make sure that we're downloading these one at a time here. So I'll find this for Basics 1. And I'll just download the song here. I'll download this video here as well. Oh, we already have that one. Yep, so so probably on downloads. There we go. Yeah, good. So we have these 2 here. We'll just add the 2 of these. Yes, sir.
I was just looking.
Okay. All right. So the way we kind of arrange this, we have our clips here. We have our workspace here. This is our timeline. This is our preview, and this is our effects panel. So if I just want to pull this out here, drag it to the timeline, I can then play it. You can kind of hear a little bit of me talking, and I think a little bit of me singing too. So we'll just do a couple things here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the audio. Now the thing about if we put in audio here, we can right click on this and we can just unlink the 2 video and audio, so we can move these different spots. So this same stuff will play later. Alright, but I'll just get rid of this by just delete on the keyboard. So this is our video right here. We have video 1, 2, 3. We have audio 1, 2, 3 over here. We can add more tracks as we go. But what we'll do is we'll just mouse through a couple parts of this. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to clip off the very end, because the very end, I pick up the camera and I look at it. And so I'll just go to the very end and I'll just kind of clip this off. And there's a couple ways we can clip things off. We can take this little razor blade icon over here on the side, and we can just clip wherever we want. And so in this case, I'll just clip at about, I don't know, like 50 seconds in, something like that. So where are we at here? Right there. That's really good. I'll just clip that, and we'll just delete. Now, what's neat about this is that this right here is a sequence, and so over here we have our source, and over here we have our sequence. If I wanted to rename the sequence, I want to say I can here. Just double click on it. Well, if I rename the sequence, it would be yeah, here we go. I'll just call this Basics. And we see it appears over here. So here's the sequence, here's the clip, and then we can put this in now. Let's actually cut this down to about 30 seconds here. Well, yeah, about 30 seconds. Maybe about yeah, high. And we can always clip this down by doing one of 2 things. We can always clip this by just hovering over with this mouse selected, not with the razor blade selected, but with the mouse selected, and just pulling it down one way or the other. So if I pull it down to like 30 seconds or so, then there you have it. So we have this. Now, before we kind of put the music on, we'll put the music in. So I'll just drag and drop the music into right here, so we can start listening to this. All right, so that's nice. But what we'll do here is we're going to actually make this last a little longer. Now, there's a couple of things we could do to make this video last as long as the music. We could right-click on this and so go to Modify and find Interpret Footage, and we could reduce the frame rate, say to about 24 frames per second. That's about as, but it doesn't really change the speed all that much. It slows it down a little bit, but not a whole lot. If we had a higher frame rate, like if we were to like say record with 60 frames per second, we could certainly get all that in. But instead what we can do is we right click on this and we can click on speed duration, and this clip here is 1:05. The song is, so I'm just going to go over here. I can slow this down to say 50%, and it would just about get there. But if I wanted to, once again, get a speed duration and make sure it goes to 1:05, and then 1 frame afterwards, 10 frames afterwards, so 1:05, and then 10 frames afterwards. It's okay. And so now it lasts the whole time. So now we can kind of see this. It slows down a little bit here. All right, and so you can see like the slow motion makes it a little bit choppy just because it's a slower frame rate than it should be. And really about 50%, maybe 60% could be like the slowest you can go before it starts getting really choppy. So what I'll do here is I'm going to actually go over here to, let's look here. Now you might have a different thing. You might see a little icon here that has a letter T on it, but if you go to File, New, and you find Title, you could probably find Title here. And I'm going to just press OK, and I'm just going to click on my Type tool, and I'm just going to write Mr. Lobello's first edit, with Premiere. And I'll hang it over the top here, and you can just change the font however you like. I'll keep it this. Okay, I'll put it like this, and I'll make it centered, and I'll make sure I center it in the actual frame. And then I'll just drag this whole thing over here, and we can just position it wherever you like. Just maybe a few seconds in, press play. All right, and then we can add a transition by going over here. Let's clip on. Find on your little clip area, find effects, and find video transitions, and a little arrow there, and find dissolve, and let's go cross dissolve. We'll cross dissolve, and we'll drag that onto the end, both ends of our clip here, so when we start off it'll fade in from black, and when we go we'll fade out to black. And so that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and save this. We'll press File, Save, and you already saved it when you opened it up, but let's you named it something. But let's press File. Let's go to Export Media, and this is where we'll decide how we're going to format this. Now, I'm going to ask that you format this with the H.264. That's going to be your MP4. And we can, instead of matching the source at a high bit rate, we can go to a medium bit rate, which is going to reduce the file size substantially. And we'll just go ahead and click on Basics, and what we'll do is we'll choose where we're going to save it. So I'm going to go to Videos, and I'm going to just choose, like maybe make a new folder and call it Premiere Projects, and then I'll just save it here to Basics. And I'll press export, and it should take a moment to export. And what I'll usually do is it'll export the audio first, and then I'll export the video second, and then we can view our video afterwards, and then you can submit that to D2L. All right, very cool.